So we completed till, if I'm right, the creation of checks. So we have to go ahead with the cancellation of checks. That's the next activity which we have to do. Okay, let me just get back to the SAP screen.
Yeah, Venkat, I just want to ask you something.
Yeah.
How long is our class today?
What is the time now? It's about normally, as far as the Indian time is concerned, it's 1:43 p.m. here. Okay. So,
Okay.
is it okay if we go till 3:45? 3:45.
The only thing is basically I have some there is some like I have to take my wife to doctor now.
Okay.
So
What time you want me to stop it?
maybe in 1 hour's time. Is that okay?
Not a problem. Not a problem. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll come to accounting, financial accounting, accounts payable, come to environment.
Okay, just give me few seconds, yeah. Just if you can hold kindly, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, sure.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can continue the class normal time because my wife is going now somehow. Herself.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay.
Right. So I can extend it for some time now.
Yeah, we can do a normal time, like as much as you want. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. So what we'll do here is first we'll go ahead and check this again, just to
Yeah.
ensure what are all the things we have recorded. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my company code. So we'll go with the house bank and the account ID. Just click execute. So these were the different things which we have done. We have the check number, we have the payment document number, the date, the amount, and the concerned party. Now let's go with some cancellation of checks. We'll come back. I go to void, cancellation of unused checks. So there are three situations under cancellation of checks. One is unused checks, then issued checks, then the cancelled payment. So first we'll go with unused checks. Now unused check is a check which has not been issued to any vendor. Like let us say whenever I'm creating the check, there might have been something wrong related to the amount. I might have written it wrongly, or the spelling of the amount might be wrong, or maybe the signature is wrong. Then we are going to destroy that check physically. So once the check is destroyed physically, the same number we have to update in the system also. Otherwise, what will happen is if the check book is showing you a different number and the system is showing a different number, that will create a problem during the audit activity. So whatever is appearing as cancellation of unused checks under the physical checkbook, the same thing has to be updated in the system also. Okay? So let's go with this. The company code, GLST, the house bank, and the account ID. And we have already used checks from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 4. So we cannot use those check numbers here because it's the cancellation of unused checks. Maybe when I was creating the next check, that's 1 lakh 5, there was something wrong there, so I've destroyed it. The same thing I'm updating here, and I have to give this valid reason code. The valid reason code is I'm just clicking the drop down. Remember, we have seen three reasons. One was the cancellation of unused checks, issued checks, and the stop payment. So we'll go with the first one, that is the reason number 15. Give that here and click this void button. So 1,05,000 has been voided. Now let us say the same check, when I come here and I try to use the same number here to create one more check. The payment document I'll go with some 5 lakh. You get the fiscal year, and I'm trying to give the same number here, 1,05,000. See here, the system gives me a message that the next free number in the lot is 1,000. 1,000 is 1,06,000. So I cannot use my 1,05,000 because it has already been cancelled. Okay, let's come back. Let's say I go with cancellation of issued checks. I've already issued a check to the concerned vendor. I want to cancel it. Now in which scenario we do this is, I don't want that the check should get bounced. Let us say I've issued a check to the vendor. After issuing it, I realize that my bank is not having sufficient cash. Then I can ask the vendor to wait for some time till I get the money. But let's say in a situation where I am very sure that I'm not going to receive the money within a short period of time. In such a case, I have to cancel that check. So I'll go for this in that case. So let's go with FCH9. Let us say I go with the first check because I've already issued that check 1 lakh. The void reason code, we'll go with the reason number 16. That is the cancellation of issued checks. And click this void button. See, the check 1 lakh has been voided. The payment document is not reversed. Now here the payment document will not get reversed. The reason is at some point of time I have to give him the payment. If not today, maybe some point of time tomorrow I have to give him the payment. That's why for the same payment document I can link the next check also. But let's come out and see whether these things are updated in the check register or not. Once again I go back to display, check register. The paying company code, the house bank, and the account ID, and click execute. See the 1,05,000 voided, cancellation of unused checks. 1 lakh is cancellation of issued checks. Now to the same payment document 506, I'll issue a new check. Let's say 1,06,000. Let me come back. I go back to the creation option. I go to manual checks. Same 506. I'm linking my next check. I think is it 506. Let me just check the document number. I'm not sure. The company code, the house bank, the account ID. Yeah, same 506. Payment document. I'm linking the new check. So I go back to the creation of manual checks and I am issuing a new check to this, that is 1,06,000. Press enter and just updating the city. Select. Now even this will get updated in the check register where it will show me for the same payment document a new check has been linked. Just for our information, I'm going there and I'm checking it. HSBC. This is the account ID. And click execute. So see here. So 1,05,006 was a payment document which was cancelled. Now here it is 1,06,000. The same payment document. Once again, a new check has been issued to the same vendor. Okay, let us come back. I go to once again void. And we go with cancel payment or stop payment. Now this is a situation which will come into picture when the vendor has supplied some material which is not required for us, but we have already given him the check. In such a case, we have realized that after issuing of the check, So let us say I have called the vendor and asked him to return the check and take the material back. But he didn't do both the things. Then what are we going to do? We'll give instructions to the bank to stop the payment. In such a case, the payment document will get reversed. So that activity we are doing here. Which is the check number? I'll go with 1,01,000. The void reason code, reason number 7K. That is my stop payment. And since the payment document gets reversed, I have to compulsorily give the reversal reason here. Okay. So give the reversal reason as 01. 01 is the reversal in the current period. And click this cancel payment. See that check 1,01,000 cancel, and the reverse document is 515. Let's say I want to see this document now. So I'll go to FD03, the display documents. Now here I'll check for this particular number. Now this is the reversed document. If I want to see the original document, click this reversal document. This is 507. Okay. One last activity in this, that is something which we call as check encashment. Now why I have to do this? Let us say I have issued a check to the vendor and he has encashed that check from my respective bank. Now let us say the same transaction has not been updated in my books. That means I didn't update that the check has been encashed after I get the bank statement. And by mistake, if I come here and I give the same check number, it will be cancelled. So my bank statement will show that the check has been encashed, and my books will show that the check has been cancelled. In such a case, we have to take the help of a technical consultant, and we have to go with reprinting of the checks. So that is a lengthy process. Instead of that, what we can do is we can update the check encashment in our books once I get the bank statement. FC H6. I go with the next check. That's 1,02,000. Press enter. The check encashment date 3/11/2017. Only one thing which I have to do here, that is a check encashment date. So give that and save it. Check is encash. Now after encashment, let us say I come here. I come to same void and I give the same check number here, 1,02,000, and I give the void reason code. I'm going with cancellation of issued checks. Excuse me. Now you click the void button. So look at the message, it says cash checks cannot be processed. Okay. So I hope things are okay till here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So these are some of the things which we have discussed as far as accounts payable is concerned. Now accounts payable will once again come into picture when we go for asset accounting and when we go for FIMM integration. So as of now, what we'll do is we'll try to understand some things related to accounts receivable. So let me just take you back to the PowerPoint which we have seen earlier. I'm coming to the same PowerPoint. So the logic what we have seen in case of payables, the same kind of logic is applicable in receivables also. The only difference here is we'll be talking about the credit sales here. Earlier in case of payables, we spoke something about the credit purchases. Here we'll be talking about the credit sales. Activities related to sale of finished goods, and sale of other items on credit are recorded in this module. Accounts receivable in SAP is treated as subledger. Again, we call it as a subledger. Now the logic remains the same here also. When I go to the next slide, just 1 second if I can get a marker. Okay. Now here, once again, we'll be creating one GL, general ledger, with the name as sundry debtors. Now, when we say sundry debtors, there can be 2-3 sundry debtors. It can be something like sundry debtors for finished goods, sundry debtors other items, etc. Now, what is the purpose of this? This is something which gives me the total value of debtors. That means, let's say my company is selling the goods to 10 different customers. Together, what is the total amount which I am supposed to receive from all of them? I'll be getting it from my sundry debtors. But let's say I need the individual information. When I say individual information, I want to know how much amount which I am supposed to receive from customer X, customer Y, or customer Z. Now that information I cannot get it from here. To get that information, I'll be coming to my accounts receivable subledger, and I'll create customer master here. In simple terms, a customer master is nothing but a list of all the individual customers. Let's say if my company is having 10 different customers, every customer must be there in the customer master. Now when I create this customer master, the subledger, I'll be linking it to the general ledger. Now how am I going to link this? There will be one field with the name as reconciliation account. That reconciliation account I'm going to activate at both the levels, at the subledger level as well as at the general ledger level. Now that establishes the connection between the subledger and the general ledger. Now what happens because of that? The posting of transactions will always be done at the subledger level. That means at the individual customer level. If I'm selling the goods to customer X, I'll post it to X account. If I'm selling it to Y, post it to Y's account. So transaction is something which is always recorded at the subledger level. From there, because of the link, it gets transferred to the GL. And from here, it further goes to the balance sheet. That's how the flow takes place in accounts receivable. So the first thing what we have to do is, we have to go ahead with some prerequisites for creation of customer master. We are not creating the customer master. Some prerequisites we are supposed to do first. Then we'll create the GL. Then when we create the customer master, we'll link both the accounts. Okay. I hope things are fine till here.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So let me come back to MS Paint documentation. The first thing what we are doing here is define account groups for customers. Let's say I'll create 2 account groups. I'll name the first one as GLFG. I'll call this as finished goods customers for GLST. The second one will be GL. I'll say OC. We call it as other customers for GLST. So I can create a list of all those customers to whom I am selling my finished goods. I can create a list of all those customers to whom I am selling my finished goods. That's my first activity. Second thing what I do is I go with create number ranges for customer account groups. So let us say I'll go with something like 10 and I'll get the number range from 1 to 100. This is just for our information. I'm using these numbers. Otherwise, whatever is already pre-existing also we can use it. So these numbers will be used for assigning it to the individual customers. That means I can create 100 customers to whichever account group I'm going to assign this number. Second, I go with 11. I'll give from 1012. let's say 200. So this way, I'm going to create these two number ranges. The third activity will be assign number ranges to customer account groups. So we go with GLFG to this. We will assign 10, and second GLOC to this will assign 11. So first we'll go ahead with these three activities. Let me come back. So I will relog in. So the steps remain the same. The only difference, the path will be different here. I go to financial accounting group, accounts receivable and accounts payable, business transactions. So first we'll create the account groups. I go to customer accounts, master data, preparations for creating customer master data, define account groups with screen layout. OBD2 is the transaction code. I go to new entries. So I'll give a name as GLFG. I'll call it as finished goods customers for GLST. Double click on company code data. Double click on account management and make a reconciliation account as required entry. So that will be used for linking the subledger to the general ledger. That's why we are making it as a required entry. And select. Press enter. In the same way, I'll create the next account group also. I'll go to next entry button. GLOC. Sorry, OC. I'll call it as other customers GLST. Double click on company code data, double click on account management and make reconciliation account as required entry. Select. Okay. Let's come back. Next we go to create number ranges for customer accounts, XD and 1. Now here a lot of numbers are already existing. Let's go into this. I want to change intervals. See here. So what we'll do is instead of creating a new one, we'll use the existing one. If you want to create a new one, you can go to insert line and whatever number which is not here, that you can delete. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go with 0102. That's quite easy. So to these account groups, we'll assign these two numbers. Let me come back. Assign number ranges. Pick position. I'll go to GLFG. Here I'll go with 01 and second I'll go with 02 and save it. Press enter. Let me come back to the MS Paint document. Next thing what we are doing is we'll go with creation of GL accounts. So let me go directly to the screen. So we'll be creating 3 GL accounts. Back from here. I'm using the transaction code FS00. So the first GL account which I am supposed to create is sundry debtors finished goods. Now sundry debtors is something which comes under current assets. So in the current assets we have already used till 2,03,000. We'll go with 2,04,000. Okay. Let's get the GL account number as 2,04,000. Click create. Account group is Current assets, it's a balance sheet item. Sundry debtors, finished goods. I'm using the short form FG for finished goods. I go to control data. Now this is once again a reconciliation account, which I'm supposed to link it to the subledger. The linking is something which we are going to do from here. Just click the drop down, and we have two reconciliations here, one for customers, vendors. We have already used vendors, now we'll go with customers. The line item, the sort key. For the sort key, earlier we have used posting date and the vendor number. Posting date for GLs and the vendor number for GL accounts related with vendors, that was sundry creditors. Now it will be based on the customer number 031. Click create bank interest, and the reconciliation account will be G067 and save it. The second GL account, I can use my template option. I go to tool and file, click create with template, and I would like to copy from tool and 4, the one which we created just now. That is my sundry debtors, finished goods. The company code GLST. Press enter, and I'll just change this to OTH. OTH is others. Rest all things are the same. I'll just save it. The third account which I am supposed to create is my sales account. Sales is something which comes under incomes. So incomes, we have already used one number, that was 4 lakhs. We'll go with 4 lakh 1. So give the GL account number as 4 lakh 1. I go to create. This will be incomes. So we'll give a name to this as sales account. Sales account. I go to control data. This is a normal GL account. Line item. Sort key will be 001 and create bank interest. This will be G001 and save it. Okay. Let me take you back to the PowerPoint. We have created the GLs. We went ahead with some prerequisites for the customer master or the subledger. Now we'll create the customer master. We'll create the individual customers. Okay. So let's come back. Let's come back to the easy access path. So I come to accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable, master records, maintain centrally, and create XD01. Now, as we have seen in case of vendors, here also there are two parts, FD01. Now this is used basically in case of companies which doesn't want to integrate with sales and distribution. That's why the fields are comparatively less here. You have only account group, customer, and company code. But in case of companies which are integrated with SD side, sales and distribution, the number of fields will be more. The sales organization, the distribution channel, and the division. So these things, as of now, we didn't create, but still we use only this account code. So I'll go to that one which we have created just now. That was finished goods customers for GLST. Let me go down a little further. This may take some minutes here. So give the account group and the company code and press enter. The title, the name, some name I'll give. Let's try it. International Limited. The country, I'll say GB. Directly I'll go to the company code data. Click this company code data. Get the reconciliation account. We are linking it to the general ledger here, which is the GL. I'm linking it to, let's say, sundry debtors, finished goods. The sort key, this will be the customer number. I'm going with 031. I come to payment transactions. So as of now, we'll go with 0001. The payment terms where it's payable immediately due net. No discount, no credit. Because anyhow, we'll be changing it after we move a little further. Save it. So the document, new customer has been created with the number as 27. Now the second customer which I am going to create, I can use my reference. Reference is where I am going ahead with copying all the things from the previous customer. The name I am going to change. So I'll go with, so same 27 we can give it here. Press enter. So give that customer number and the company code. Press enter. So title and some name I'm giving. I'll say O1 International Limited. Rest all fields will get copied automatically. So I will save it. So as of now, 2 customers are enough for us. As and when required, we can come back and create some more customers. Okay, let me just get back here. The next activity what we are doing is, this is document types and number ranges. Document types and number ranges. So we'll use 3 document types. One is DR, DZ, DA. DR is for customer invoice. DZ is for customer payment. And DA is customer document. Like whenever you are going for any kind of advance adjustments, or let's say some kind of sales returns, then we'll be using that DA. We'll use one transaction code here, OBA7. So using the path, we'll use OBA7 and define the number ranges for customers. Now here, there will be some numbers also. For DR, it is 18, DZ 14, DA 16. So 14, 16, 18. For these 3, we'll be defining the number ranges. Let's come back. I'll use a transaction code OBA7. This might get disconnected again. Now in the screen, we are using DA, DR, DZ. For DA, 16. For DR, 18. And for DZ, 14. So 14, 16, and 18. So double click on document type. We'll come to the second screen. Click this number range information button. Give the company code and click change intervals. Click insert line. I go with 14. Hit the year as 2017. Now the number which you have to allot here has to be the next number. So we have used till 2000. I'll go with the next number, 2001 here. 2001. Let's say I'll go up to 2500. Click insert line again. I'll go with 16. The year, I'll go with 2501 up to 3000. The third is 18. 2017. I'll go from 3001 to 3500. So this way I have created 3 number ranges. Select. Press enter. Okay. Let me just close some of the screens. I will leave this view. Close this also. Okay. Let me come back here. The next thing what we are doing is we go with customer invoice posting. Now here there's a new posting key which will come here, 01. That will be customer debit. So whenever we are posting the customer invoice, the customer will be debited, and second line item will be 50. This will be my sales account. So we'll record this transaction. Let me come back to the easy access screen. So I go to accounts receivable, document entry. I'll come to invoice general, that is F-22. Let me take some date, 2017, 10/8/2017. 01, that's the debit posting key for the customer. So we have created 2 customers, 27 and 28. So we'll take one of the customer here. Still processing. Press enter till you come to the next screen. So let's go ahead with some amount. Other things are the same as we have seen in case of vendors. The system is drawing it from the customer master. So this will call as customer invoice. The second line item 50. This will be my sales account, 4,01,000. Press enter. Star and plus. So go to document, select, and save it. Let's say the customer is making some payment. We'll go to F-28. So let's say the payment is being done on the same day. This is my bank account. I'll go with some amount. This will call as customer payment and the respective customer number. The process and the screens are the same. Only difference, this will be from the customer side. Earlier we have seen from the vendor side. Press enter. Press enter again. Now this being a partial payment, First, we'll come to the partial payment tab. The same logic, just double click on this. The amount will be equal to the first partial payment, and this will be equal to 0. Go to document, select, and look at the entry there. A new posting key 15 is coming. 15 is the customer credit, and 40 is the bank account. Okay. So this posting key is coming by default. We haven't entered it anywhere. Select. Okay, let me just get back. Now sometimes it's quite possible that some of the materials are sent back by the customer. Some of the finished goods are sent back by the customer. Again, we are going with the credit memo. So earlier what we have seen, that was the vendor credit memo. This is the customer credit memo, but the term remains the same. Okay. So this is the old version. That's why I'm not going into the old version. And this is the new version. I'm going to credit memo generally. So let's go into this. The only difference about the posting keys and the document type. Let's say the returns are being done on 11/8/2017. The document type is DG. Let's keep it as it is. Here also I'm giving it as 11/8/2017. Now earlier we have seen 01 was a customer debit. We are sending it back. Now it is customer credit 27, or we can say customer credit memo. Press enter again. Let's say we are returning some 25,000, or the customer has returned us some 25,000. This we call it as customer credit memo. And second line item, earlier it was 50, now it is 40, the sales account, 4,01,000. Press enter, star and plus. So I go to document, select, and save it. Okay. I can look at these balances also. I can go to display balances, come to account, display balances, FD 10 yen. So I go with customer number 27. Click execute. So see here it's displaying the balance. Now when you double click on this, it displays all the documents. The payment, the credit memo, and the invoice. Again, the same logic, as long as the amount 7.6 is there, all these items will appear as open items. Once we clear that balance, the balance will be equal to 0, and these items will change to green color. So again, I'm not changing it, or I'm not clearing it, because as I told you, we need it for some process also. Once we complete that process, then we can clear the customer also. Okay. So the same balances, we can check it from here also. Display change line items. So just click execute, because open items and date is already there. See here, same things are being displayed. So this is some basic introduction to the accounts receivable. So till here, I hope things are fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have a short break of about 5 to 10 minutes here. Maybe it's 2:26 in my watch. 2:30, 2:35 I'll be back.
Okay.
Then
That's
we'll
fine.
do some more different situations under accounts receivable also. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then.
All right. See you. Speak it. Bye.
from Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello? Hi.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Any problem with
Sorry,
the...
my system was restarted and then Windows started updating.
Okay, okay.
So I connected it with my tablet now, so that's fine. You can hear me? Okay. Yeah, the screen is visible, but voice is a bit low. Let me just check what happened here. Can you hear me now? Yeah, it's better. It's fine. It's fine.
Just check the recording actually, because there was a gap of about 10 minutes in the middle. Okay, when that got recorded actually.
Okay.
So it's saying if you want to stop the recording, you have to log out. So I didn't log out actually.
That's fine.
Okay. So let me just, before logging in, let me come back here and just see this. Okay. So the next thing what we are doing here is we'll go with advance payment from customer. Okay. Now when we say advance payment from customer, the steps remain the same. Once again, we have to create one GL account with the name as advance from customer. Now this is something which will be creating under current liabilities. This will be created as a reconciliation account, and at a later stage in the second step, this will be treated as a special GL, where we'll be using that symbol A, just to give an indication that this is advance payment. Okay. The second activity what we do is link the reconciliation account. Reconciliation account is your sundry, debtors, finished goods. So sundry debtors, finished goods to special GL. The special GL is, this is your advance from customer. This is where we'll be using that symbol A also, just to give an indication that this is advance payment. Third activity will be, we go with post advance payment. Once the customer gives the advance payment, we'll send the invoice to them. So we'll record that in the customer invoice posting. And the last activity what we call as advance clearing. Clearing is nothing but whatever advance has been paid, that advance will link it to that particular invoice, so that system can display the balance amount. Like we have given an advance payment of this much, and let's say the invoice was this much. So in the last activity what we are doing is, to this 3.5, we'll adjust this 1 lakh, so that the balance of 2.5 can be displayed by the system. Okay. So this activity we are going to do in the system now. So let's go to so first we'll create that GL account using FS00. So advance is something which we create under current liabilities. Current liabilities, what we have used was 3 lakh 2. We'll go with 3 lakh 3. So give the GL account number as 3 lakh 3 to create The account group is current liabilities. So balance sheet item, get the name as advance from customer. I go to control data. Now this is also a reconciliation account. We give it as customers, line item, and the sort key, once again the customer number. Create bank interest, and this would be G067. Select. Now this account, we will link it to the reconciliation account. That activity will be doing it in the IMG screen. Still proceed. Just activate the transaction code also. So I come to financial accounting here. Accounts receivable and accounts payable. I go to business transactions. So we come to down payment received. We define reconciliation accounts for customer down payments. OVXR is the transaction code. Now there is one special GL indicator A here. Double click on that. It will ask you for the chart of accounts. So it comes by default, and if it is not coming by default, we have to enter it manually. Press enter. Now this is the reconciliation account, and this is a special GL account. So reconciliation account is, I'll just click the drop down, and here the account will be your sundry debtors, finished goods, and the special GL will be what we created just now as advance from customer. So we'll have 3. Select. Press enter. Okay, the third activity what we are doing is we'll go with the customer has made some advance payment. We'll post an entry for this. Now once again, when we are recording this, we'll be using the symbol A here, giving an indication that this is advance payment. Let's go to the easy access path. Come to accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable, go to document entry, down payment, again down payment 2 times, F-29. So I'll take some date, let's say I'm taking this month, 10/11. We'll go with the second customer, 28. There's 2 numbers with it, 27 and 28. Now this being the advance payment, I'll give that symbol A here. This is my bank account, and some amount I'm giving here, 1.95. This will call as advance from customer. Press enter, star and plus. So I go to document, simulate. So now you see there the posting key 19A is something which is coming automatically. That's an indication that whatever we have paid is the advance. Because without this, you cannot recognize whether it is advance payment or normal payment. Okay. Now once we make the advance, or once the customer makes the advance payment, we will send him the invoice. That is F-22. Now the date, it can be either the date of advance payment or any day after that, but it cannot be before that. So I'll go with, let's say, the same date, 10/11/2017. 01, that's a debit posting key for the customer. It's 28. Press enter. I go with some amount. This we'll call as customer invoice, and second line item will be 50. That will be my sales account. press enter, star and plus. Go to document, simulate, and save it. Okay. The third activity is advance clearing. Now, advance clearing is nothing but whatever advance has been paid, that we are linking it to this particular account. Now, before we do that, I'm going to FS10. FS10 is the place where we will check the GL balances. So I'll go to that account. So this is my advance from customer GL account. Click execute. See here, now it is showing you some balance. Once we do the last activity, that is the clearing process, the balance of this account will be equal to 0. Okay. Let's go to advance clearing, where we are adjusting this advance amount to the invoice. So let's take the date. The date can be either the date of invoice or any day after that. So I'm giving the same date, 10/11. This is my customer number. Now this invoice is something which will get displayed automatically. Whatever is the last posted invoice, I'm trying to adjust it against that invoice. That's why the system is able to display that here. So if the system is not displaying that, we have to go back to display document screen, and there we have to check for this particular invoice number. But by default, if the last posted document is that, it comes automatically. And this we'll call it as advance clearing. Press enter. You're coming to the next screen. Just double click on this. It will display the amount of advance clearing. Now, since the amount has been displayed, you go to document, simulate. So one is the advance, other one is the invoice. Since both we are getting from the same customer, the system is able to display both. One is the advance, other one is the invoice. Let's save it. Now, let's go back and check whether the GL balance is equal to 0 or not. Going to FS10N. The same GL account is coming. I'll just click execute. See that balance is equal to 0. So when you double click on this, it will display the amount as cleared. The balance is 0. Okay. Now this is one situation which we have already discussed in case of vendors. Now this is something which we are doing in case of customers. Now very much similar to what we have discussed in case of vendors will be another scenario. Let me come back here. Now this is the terms of payment. What we created as a discount actually. The first thing what we are doing is, we'll say maintain terms of payment. Now, in case of customers, let's say we are changing the terms slightly. If the payment is within 15 days, let's say there is a discount of 4%. If the payment is within 30 days, there is a discount of 2%, which we are giving to the customer. And 45 days, let's say there is no credit. So what we are doing basically is we are giving a credit of 45 days, which is linked with some terms. Now to this we have to give one identification. We'll give it as GLS2. So GLS2 is terms of payment for customers of GLST. That's the first activity. The second thing what we do is assign terms of payment to customers. Terms of payment to customer. That's our second activity. Third thing what we do is we have to create one GL account with the name as cash discount given, or we can say granted. This is something which will be creating under expenses, and that's a normal GL account. The fourth would be, we'll say, this account we have to assign. We'll say assignment of account for automatic posting. So because of this linking, an entry gets recorded automatically. The fifth would be the customer invoice, and the last, the customer payment. So these are the 6 steps which are involved. So let's do this in the system now. So go to SPR, set a reference entry. Come to financial accounting new. Come to accounts receivable and accounts payable. Go to business transactions. I go to incoming invoices / credit memos. And maintain terms of payment. OBB 8. Click new entries. We give some identification as GLS 1 we have already given for vendors. GLS 2 I'm giving it for customers. So this I'll call as terms of payment for customers of GLST. Now this is applicable only for customer. That's why we are selecting the customer checkbox. And the default baseline date will go with the document date. The percentage I'm giving it here. 4% within 15 days, 30 days, 2%, and 45 days, no discount. Save it. Now this terms, we will assign it to the customer. Go to the screen. We'll go to accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable, master records. I'll go to change because we have already created customers. So instead of going ahead with creation of a new customer, I'm going with creation of or assigning the to the customer. Okay. So let's go to XD02. With the customer number, I'm going with the first customer, the company code, GLST, and press enter. So I'm coming to the screen. Click company code data button at the top. Click this payment transactions. The payment terms are here. Click the drop down, and what we created just now will be visible here. Let's put them in order. GLS2 is here. Just double click on this and save it. Okay. Now the third activity what we are supposed to do is we have to create that GL account, that is cash discount received. Let's go to this. Once again I have to go to FS00, the place where we created all our GL accounts. So the GL account cash discount granted is an expense. So we'll create it under expenses. Expenses, the last number we have used was 5,04,000. We'll go with 5,05,000. So give the GL account number as 5,05,000. We create the account group is, it's an expense. The name cash discount, let's say given, or you can say granted also. Cash discount, just change this name, given. I go to control data. This is the normal account, line item. Sort key will be 001, and create bank interest. This will be G001. Save it. Now this account, we have to assign it. The next activity what we are doing is, this GL account, we are assigning it for automatic posting. Okay, let's go to the IMG part. I come to same business transactions, come to incoming payments, global settings, and define accounts for cash discount granted. Click on this. So the moment I click on this, it is going to ask me the chart of accounts. So give the chart of accounts, press enter. And in the screen, we're not going to do anything. Just save it. It takes you to the next screen. Now this is where I'm going to link the GL account. Click the drop down. GL account will be 5,05,000. Save it. The remaining two, first we'll post the invoice, then we'll go for the payment. So customer invoice F-22. So I'll take some date 10/7. I'll go with customer 27, to which we have assigned the terms. Press enter again. Go with 1 lakh. Now you are able to see those terms actually. Earlier, if you remember, without that terms, it was not showing anything. 001 was there, but now it is showing you the terms of payment. So we'll give the text as customer invoice. The second line item, that will be 50. The sales account 4,01,000. Press enter. Star and plus. So I go to document, select, and save it. Okay. So during the payment, the discount factor will come into picture at -28. So let's take the date 10/7. This will be 2 lakhs. And the amount which we are going to enter will be after discount. So what amount my bank account is actually receiving, that amount I'm entering it here. So after discount, the amount which my bank is receiving is 96,000. That I have entered it here. And this will be my customer payment and the respective customer number. Press enter. Press enter. Now you look at the not assigned field. It's equal to 0. I go to document, simulate. So it will show me 3 line items. The cash discount given is appearing in blue color. Double click on this and keep the text as cash discount given. And save it. Okay. So I hope things are fine till here.
That's fine, yeah.
So these are the same things what we have done in accounts payables also. Now till here, whatever we have done, these are the same things which we have done in accounts payable. Now from here we have to do a different activity. Let me just take the PowerPoint. Just 1 second. So I'll just close it. Just give me a minute. So the next activity what we are doing is, this is known as the process of dunning. Now what do I mean by dunning is, it is a process of sending remind letters to the customers from whom the amount is due. Now basically a customer who is supposed to pay amount to us, let's say we have given him a credit of some 45 days, but he has not paid it. In such a case, we would like to remind him first before going for any kind of legal action. We would like to tell him that yes, you are supposed to pay this much of amount. Send him some remind letter, and still if he is not responding, only then we'll go for taking some kind of legal action against him. So in SAP, what happens is the letter generation process is something which is going to take place automatically, and that process we call it as dunning actually. So what do we do in dunning? First thing is we have to define a dunning procedure. The dunning process will be defined in the dunning procedure. What do we define in the dunning procedure? There are some terms and conditions which we have to specify in the dunning procedure. The first thing is we need to go ahead with dunning levels. That means I have to define a dunning level. It indicates the number of letters which we would like to generate. That means how many times would you like to remind the customer before you take any kind of legal action. Maximum SAP has given the possibility of generating 9 letters. But here we'll not go with 9 letters, we'll go with 3 actually. So any company prefers to go with 3 letters. After third letter, let's say if the customer is not responding, the company would like to go with some kind of legal action. So here also we are going to specify that our dunning level is going to be 3. That means we are going to generate 3 letters. Okay. Apart from dunning levels, we'll also specify the dunning intervals. Now what's a dunning interval? Dunning interval is the time gap between the dunning letters. Let us say I have generated a letter today. Second letter, after how many days would you like to generate? What time gap you want to give? Now there is no rule here. Once again, it differs from organization to organization. Whatever time gap they want to maintain, they can maintain it. But we will go ahead with a time gap of, let's say, 10 days. That means if I have generated the first letter today, the second letter I'll generate after 10 days, and the third letter I'll generate again after 10 days. I'm giving a time gap of 10 days between the dunning letters. Okay. Apart from that, apart from the dunning level and the dunning intervals, we'll also be specifying the dunning charges. Now what are dunning charges? Dunning charges are the additional expenses which the company is incurring for generating this letter. Let's say for the first letter, I'm incurring some additional expense of some $100 or £100. I don't want those expenses to be borne by the company. The respective customer should take care of it. That's why we are going to specify the dunning charges also. Let's say for the first letter, we'll go ahead with some 100. Second letter we'll go with 200. Third letter we'll go with 300. So this way, we are going to specify that we are charging some extra 300 if we are sending a dunning letter to the customer. And the grace period. Now what's a grace period? Grace period is that extra time which you want to give to the customer. Let's say I have given a credit of 45 days. I'll wait for 45 days, and in some cases where the customer is really known well to you, it's quite possible that we can allow some grace period also. Let's say I'll go with a grace period of about 3 days. So that means I'll be generating the letter only after the 48th day. 45 days of credit plus 3 days of grace. The last thing which we are going to specify in the dunning procedure is the minimum amount. The minimum amount which should be due from the customer for the dunning process. Let us say if I give the minimum amount as 1000, system will generate letter only for those customers from whom the amount which is due is 1000 and above that. Below 1000, I am not going to generate any kind of letters, or I am not going to generate a letter in this process. There may be a separate process for that. Okay. So this we have to do it in the system now. So I hope things are fine here. Any questions?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so let's go ahead with defining of the dunning procedure first. I'll log in. So let's go to the IMG path. Just activate the transaction code. Financial accounting name. Accounts receivable, accounts payable. Business transactions. Come to dunning. Dunning procedure. And define dunning procedures. FDMP is the transaction code. Now, since we are defining a new procedure, we go to new procedure. Click on that new procedure button. So I'll give a name to this. I'll say GL DU. We call this as dunning procedure for GLST. The dunning interval in case. Dunning interval is the time gap which we are allowing between the letters. So I'll say the time gap is 10 days. Number of dunning levels. Number of dunning levels is how many letters you want to generate. So maximum possibility of generating 9 letters. We are not going with 9. We'll go with 3 letters. Total due items from the dunning level. Now this I need not specify here. The reason is whenever I am generating the letter, I am going to specify the date. Now till that date, whichever invoice is meeting that criteria of 45 days plus 3 days of grace, all those invoices will be considered. So there is no need for me to specify that the due items are 4, 5, 3 or this many numbers. I'll just specify the date there. Whichever invoice is meeting that criteria of 45 days plus 3 days of grace, system will consider all those invoices. So this I need not specify. Similarly, the minimum days in arrears. If I'm specifying the grace period, there is no need for me to specify the minimum days in arrears. Grace period I'm giving it as 3 days. Interest indicator, though we are not calculating the interest, but there is a need for me to specify the interest indicator compulsorily. Otherwise, the dunning process will not work out. So this is, I'll click the drop-on which is already predefined. Interest in case of customers and vendors will be done by using the method which we call as item interest calculation. That 01 we are giving here. We are following the standard transactions for dunning. That's why I select that standard transaction dunning checkbox. Select. So it gives you a small message. Just ignore it by pressing enter 2 times. Now once we define all this, next we go to the dunning texts. Pick the company code, and there are 2 options here, customer and vendor. The vendor we are going to select only in case of situations where the vendor has taken some advance, but he has not supplied the material still. In such a case, we can send him a remind letter. So I am selecting the customer here, press enter, coming to a new screen, click this new company code button, give the company code and press enter. Now there are two things which you are able to see for your company code. One is dunning by dunning area, separate notice per dunning level. Now dunning area is when you divide a particular region into 4 or 5 parts, like eastern region, western region, southern region. Now that is something which is taken care by sales and distribution people. So I need a separate letter for every dunning level. That's why I'll select this separate notice per dunning level checkbox. Save it. Click back arrow button. It says, do you want to save the data? Click yes. Press enter. We're coming back to the first screen. Now second time also you are going to enter into the same screen. You click on the dunning text, but you will not enter into the same screen. A different screen will come. But you click on the same dunning text. The company code is coming by default. Just press enter. So it's a different screen now. So we are going with 3 levels. So I'll give it as 1, 2, and 3. And this form, we call it as script form. Now in SAP, what happens is, whenever we are generating the letter, the content of the letter is not typed by the individual. It's already predefined in the form. Only with the help of a technical consultant, we'll be knowing this form, and that form we are supposed to give it here. Whatever content is there, that content will come automatically. But let's say if you want to change the content, as a functional consultant, you cannot do that. You have to take the help of a technical consultant. So this form, we have to give it as F150_DUNN_01. And the same form for the remaining 2 also. Now always remember this 01 has got nothing to do with the level actually. Okay? So this form is the same, but the content of the letter is going to change automatically. Now there is no save option here. Next we go to dunning levels. Click this dunning levels. We have 3 things here. 1, 2, and 3. That is nothing but the dunning levels. First level, second level, and third level. Now we are not calculating any interest, so don't select this checkbox. The only thing is, I would like to generate the letter for all the 3 levels. That's why I'll select all these 3 checkboxes, and I would like to go for printing of all the items. That's why I'll select these 6 checkboxes, giving an indication that I would like to go for generating the letter for all the 3 levels, and then I would like to go for the print preview. Next we come to the charges button. Click charges, give the currency, and press enter. Once again, 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. Now there are 3 ways of specifying the dunning charges. You can specify the charges by restricting it as per the amount. Let's say for 1 lakh, I want to charge some 100, for 2 lakhs, 200, for 3 lakhs, 300. Or I can specify only the dunning charges, or I can give the percentage. Now if I give the percentage, what will happen? The system will calculate the dunning charges on the amount which is due actually. On that it will take that percentage. If I give it as 1%, whatever the amount is due, on that 1% will be calculated. But commonly we use the dunning charges. Let's say for the first letter I go with 100, second letter 200, the third letter 300. Okay. Next we go to the minimum amounts. Again the currency, just press enter. 1, 2, and 3. The minimum amount for any level, the minimum amount is going to remain constant. So I am going to generate a letter only for those customers from whom the amount which is due is 1000 and above 1000. Below 1000, I will not use this process. Okay. So there is no save option here. You have to come back and save it here. Okay, I hope this part is okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Now this procedure, we will assign it to the customer next. Let's get back. Go to the easy access path. Accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable. master records, maintain centrally, and change. So I'll go with, let's say, the customer number 28, the company code GLST, press enter. I'll go to company code data. I'll go to this correspondence tab. I have a dunning procedure here. What we have created just now, that was GL DU. Just once, must be somewhere here. Yeah, GL DU. Hit that here and save it. Now, before we generate the letter, let's go to FB03 and check the customer invoice dates. I'm going to DR, execute. Let me check this invoice. This was on 10/11, or let me go with this one. This was for the first. Okay, no problem. Since we have opened all the 12 periods, we can do it in the future period also. So I have posted an invoice to this particular customer on 10/11, and let's say he has not paid any amount. So from 10/11, I'll wait for 48 days. That means till 28/12/2017, there will not be any letter generation. So I have to generate the letter only after 28th December. So let us say I'll generate the letter on 30th December. Okay. As I told you, being a training environment, we can do it for the future date also, but normally this will not happen in the real environment. So I'm in the process of generating the remind letter for the customer now. So I go to accounts receivable. I go to periodic processing, done, F150. So let's say I'm generating the letter on 30/12/2017. I'll give a name to this particular process. I'll say GLDUNN, something which is different from what we have given in the running procedure. Click this parameter tab. I'm doing it on 30/12/2017. 30/12/2007. I want to consider all the invoices till this particular date. The company code GLST and the customer number, I'll say 28, because we have assigned it to the customer number 28. Now you can do it for a single customer, or you can do it for 2-3 customers also, not just one customer. First we will save it. Click back arrow button. Now it says parameters were maintained. Next, first we will schedule the dunning run. So click this schedule dunning run. Because we are in the process of printing and having a look at the print preview, it will always ask you for the output device. That is a specification related to the printer. That I am giving it as LP01. Click continue. It gives you a small pop-up. Now here you select this start immediately checkbox and click execute. So it is giving you a message that dunning selection is running. Now the moment I press enter, this message will change to dunning selection is complete. And at the top, you are able to see only 2 buttons. The system will add some additional buttons also at the top. So just pay attention on the screen. I'm just pressing enter. See that dunning selection is complete. Some additional buttons are all adding up there. Click this dunning printout once you get that message. Click the output device and click continue button. Click this print. So it gives you a message, dunning printout running. Again, when I press enter, that message will change to dunning printout is complete. Press enter. Dunning printout is complete. Now once I get this message, I go to dunning history. give the company code, GLST, and click execute. See here. If you're able to see this, where it is giving you all this message, all this information, it's an indication that whatever you have done is right. Sometimes it gives you a message that list contains no data. If it is giving you that message, then it's an indication that something is wrong somewhere. You have to check where the error is lying, check all your configuration again. So as of now, we'll proceed further. Place a cursor on Dunning level 1 and click display Dunning notice. Click print preview and give the output device once again as LP01, press enter. The first Dunning notice. So the content is coming automatically. The invoices listed below are due for payment. The system is taking this from the Dunning procedure, whatever we have specified there in the form, so the script form. The running charges are also visible, 100. Now let's say we have sent this letter to the customer. The system or the customer has not responded. He didn't make any payment or he didn't respond to us. We'll wait for 10 days and we'll send the second letter to the customer. So how do we do that? Come back to the first screen.
So basically, we have to do it every time. It's not done automatically. Yeah, if we don't do it, it won't automatically.
It won't generate automatically. The letter generation will take place, that's all. But this process, we have to run it at the end of every month or whenever we...
Somebody in the company is designated to do this task.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Now here, we'll wait for another 10 days. Okay. And let's say 30/12, 10 days, I'll say 10/1/2018. I'm generating my second letter. Click this parameter tab. I'll give this date 18 10/1/2018. The company code GLST, customer number, sorry, 28. Save it. Come back. The same process. Go to schedule, LP01, click continue, and start immediately not required. It's already there. Click this schedule. Running selection running. Press enter. Running selection is complete. We go to printout. Again, LP01 and click continue. Click this print. Running printout is scheduled. Press enter. Running printout is complete. I go to history. Company code. Click execute. The second level. Place a cursor here. Click display Dunning notice. Click print preview and give it as LP01. Click continue. The second letter, the content changes automatically. From whatever the form we have given, from there it takes. Now let's say this letter has also been sent to the customer, but he has not responded. So no alternate, we have to go for the third letter. So except for the date, the whole process remains the same. Let me come back. I'll keep the date as 20/1/2018. Click this parameter tab, 20/1/2018. My company code, GLST, customer number. Save it. Come back. Click this schedule. LP01. Click continue. Click schedule. Running selection running. Running selection is completed. We go to Printout. Again, LP01 and click Continue. Click this Printout. Printout is scheduled and printout is complete. History. TLST. Click Execute. The third level. Place a cursor here. Display done notice. Click Preview. LP01. Click Continue. The third letter, since we didn't specify any interest, it's saying 0%. And the last statement says we'll be going for the quote order. So this is something about the process of value. So we'll stop it here for today. Okay. So I hope this part is okay now. Things are fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's clear.
Okay. So we'll be meeting again on second.
Second. Yeah.
Right. Okay then.
Okay,
Okay then.
thank you.
Carry on for us. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.